Hello. It's done that thing where we had taken all of it away. There we go. Welcome to another video. It has been a while. It's winter here. I don't like the cold as much. It makes my nerve hurt a bit more. So I don't come out of the office as much. I work from inside a lot more. I mean, it's warm in here, but I gotta walk outside. No, no pain sucks. Anyhow, I was going to get back into my operating system. So I have this operating system. We can run it, and it just kind of runs straight away. It has a bunch of things. We can go full screen if I remember. Yeah. Look at that. Ooh, looks awesome. Anyhow, get out of that. My problem is that this won't boot on my current laptop. It'll boot on this laptop that I'm recording the video of, but it won't actually boot off the laptop that I use for development and whatnot. So if I did a like reboot with my operating system, and it'll be like, I don't know, nothing bootable here. And the problem is there's been like a long time in the coming. In fact, when I started the project, I knew that it potentially wouldn't be bootable at some point in time. The problem is that currently the CPU architecture I'm kind of targeting is x86-64 or i386 or Intel, people might call it. PC is also kind of a term that was used back in the day. So IBM PC even. Even though it's IBM, I don't know. That's a different video. Probably not by me and do a search. Anyhow, so the problem is these CPUs have been pretty much backwards compatible the entire time, all the way back to I think it's 8086 CPU or 8086 is that one? Yeah, this one. And I think this is the one that it all kind of boils down to, this bad boy here. Yeah. I think it's this one, but I could be wrong. It could be this one. Nah, that's the 8-bit one. I'm pretty sure it goes all the way back down to this one. So when it boots into 16-bit mode. So I have a folder that has a boot.asm, but it doesn't really do much. It just kind of loads stuff in order to get rid of those tabs. So what happens here is kind of what it does is, in fact, I'll get out here. It scans through and it looks for a file. If we it will search through all the hard disks in order. So like in whatever order the BIOS sees it in is the order it is. And it'll look for something that has this AA55 at the end of the first 512 bytes. So what we can do is we could do like a 512 bytes of our build osdev image. And if we look down here, we have 55AA. Now, it's a little Indian architecture, so it actually goes backwards. But in reality, it's looking for this, and magic happens. And so when that happens, it will kind of just shove you in here right at the start. And so we will be starting at this point here, which we have lost that one. I have it here. Yeah, it will kind of put you at this address here. it'll like the full address, like in code sector 0, that, but then some CPUs apparently do 7C O, then O. But yeah, my one works up until now. So this has all been kind of talking about how the BIOS boots. So that is what you may have seen on your laptop, desktop, whatever you're running, is legacy boot in more recent years. Because in more recent years, people have actually been using UEFI, which is a bunch of things. It's like it fixes a bunch of things. So there's some issues. So we could have like CSM modules, which is kind of like you build. So the thing with UEFI is it actually, gosh, it's a funny thing. It's quite a funny thing. So currently my operating system doesn't have any file system, doesn't need it. I mean, it works. It works for all the functionality it has at the moment, with no need of a file system. If it wants UEFI, it needs a file system. And it doesn't need any file system. It needs a particular one called file allocation table. In fact, one that was made by one old Microsoft. So if we look up, well, in fact, I already have it here. Fact, it's made. So it's made for MS-DOS back in the day. It's fairly basic. This is patented by Microsoft. Just to know. Also, when UEFI came in, it has this like thing with secure boot, but the keys had Microsoft's keys pre-installed, and you couldn't remove them. Seems bizarre. Just seems bizarre. Could get. Was there more in that chain? I think there was more in the chain of like stuff you needed that Microsoft kind of own and don't let other people use. There was also no way to add your own key for a while. Someone made a shim, but now there's plenty of firmware that support adding your own key and removing the Microsoft key. But yeah, kind of interesting that it came out like that. Now, what the problem is, the BIOS was kind of known as legacy boot in this time, where the BIOS kind of just had the UEFI firmware had a BIOS firmware as well. Now, there's this cool firmware called what was it called? SeaBIOS. So this is something that I've kind of had a look at because it's basically an open source implementation of an x86 BIOS. And I'm like, huh, cool. So this is actually what is used in qemu. So I know my thing works with SeaBIOS. It just works. And so I guess one thing I could look at is there's so on osdev.org, which is a quite useful wiki, just need to read around all the points saying, oh my god, don't do it, it's too hard. Just do it, you'll learn something. Even if you get stuck and don't go anywhere, you'll learn something. Anyhow, there is this bare bones thing, so I could do something like this. With this is it kind of requires you to use like headers and whatnot, and the output of this. So when you boot into UEFI, you're actually in quite a good scenario. So when you're booting in BIOS, you boot into 16-bit mode, and you have pretty much no graphics, or like very limited graphics. So mine is text bone only. If I wanted graphics, I'd have to make a font. It's not too hard. I can draw some squiggles and make it work. But yeah, so this was one option that I was thinking I could potentially do. Yeah, that's something that I wanted to do. I think that's the way that you boot qemu. But I first need to find maybe where OVMF might be on here, because I did have it. Look at that, I did have it. So what is the other thing? It wants the L to be there. There was something like that. So if we get this, and we change this L to be user share OVMF. OVMF, I believe this is how we do it. I can't actually see where I am at the moment, and not that one, this one. Then this, I just want to. I don't know why I'm doing it so slow. Sometimes I do them really slow. I'm like, why am I doing it so slow? Is that kind of what it was? I don't know. I'm trying to think how I do that. There's a way. Anyhow, I thought maybe there's another way. Because I would be interested in something that is a bit more like bare bones than this bare bones. This is quite a meaty bones thing. I want to learn about more of the underlying stuff. So, like bootloaders, small segue. I don't actually use a bootloader. I'm this. The bootloader runs in real mode and it has to do stuff with the BIOS. My bootloader is very specific to my operating system. All it does is it loads in my operating system and it has a specific magic at the end of my operating system that it looks for, and it's linked in a certain way so it just works. I don't really want to make something that works for everything. It's, I think, a different person's little hobby, and people do it. So one bootloader that I was interested in was Lemine. There's a one called Multi-Boot, which Grub supports, and that kind of is a bit easier to kind of get your head around, and you can do it a bit more bare bones. Lemine is just even simpler. But I was actually thinking, what if, because Lemine you can boot over UEFI, and I was thinking, what if you boot on UEFI and then you load SeaBIOS through Lemine? And I'm like, I wonder if that would work. To start with, I tried just loading my operating system, but of course it wouldn't work. But what if I just load SeaBIOS? Black screen. Black screens are really hard to diagnose and whatnot. But yeah, I have been looking into this, and you can potentially see that by my hidden Git diff that no one else can see, that I have been kind of playing around with this Lemine, and I've got like a different linker and whatnot. And it actually kind of creates that fat file system and kind of shoves the Lemine in there. And all it does is it puts just Lemine in. So it's basically got a actually no, I do build my I build the operating system into an EFI image. It's one of the parts that is a requirement of that. But yeah, so I thought perhaps this could be an option. Ended up not being my sort of thing that I'm doing, but there was this little boy that kind of just appeared shortly after I was like kind of talking to people about the progress I'd been making. So this is something that is basically doing what I wanted to do. And so this is using a compatibility support module, which is a part of the UEFI spec to kind of give a bit more. It basically allows this sort of thing to do. It's not like a full-blown UEFI application, as I understand it. But yeah, so this is like a potential avenue of booting my operating system under UEFI only systems. So what I first want to do is work out how to boot. You can see I've tried to do some things in my previous searches, but I want to boot UEFI. Get this bad old boy. I don't really want that result. This one potentially I will have a look at. All I really want is just like, yeah, I don't really want this. I just want this little command. Yeah, so I want both of those. That probably exists. That probably exists. I don't have a disk yet, but if I just get this command, and maybe I don't get that command and maybe edit that and maybe see if this exists. It doesn't exist. Does this exist? No. But was it that? What's in here? Yeah, cool. That exists. And so it is just a case for everything. So that should exist. So I think this, I can just go like that. And I believe this should hopefully just get me into a thing. It didn't. Cool. I kind of want to boot up this. User share OVMF. OVMF. So we don't actually have a bunch of stuff here. I would have sworn there was. Oh, there is actually an uppercase version. Cool. Cool. So maybe do that sort of thing. Do that and do that. I can't find it now. So it reckons for M. Let's do this and so here we can go for M and the bars. We probably also want to do something like that. Right, so now we've just got machine aligned. We actually need to the um will it work? Right, so this is booting TNO core. This is good. And it should boot into a shell, not my shell. I would have thought it would boot into a shell. The UEFI shell. But what we could do is try and pass it like a CD-ROM, or do we have like a ISOs? We do have an ISOs, and we have like a downloads, maybe Ubuntu. You go to Ubuntu. In theory, this should boot. It's not. It's not. Yeah, this one has lost my. Try this. This episode is really me just trying out. Basically, aim is to get this working. Ooh, that's just some things I've been looking at. So that's spyware. So, yes. I mean, this will just be what I want if this works. Cool. We'll do this. And this can just be that downloads Ubuntu actions. Like that. We got permission denied. Do we need to shoot this as well? No, this is going for, yeah, cool. So this is, golly, it takes a long time. Right, so this is how we can do something. So if we, for example, go into this and osdev.image, I believe it will boot into the mine. It won't go anywhere, but I think this was oh no, I might need to change the CD-ROM to not be a CD-ROM. We want this to be a file. File equals that, and that's what drive, something like that. I don't know. Qemu flags are like, this is looking better. Maybe. Nah, it's nothing about to say. I don't know. Did we have, well, did I, OVMF, did I save anything there? OVMF. And we would want something like this potentially, yeah. We'll give this one a go. I worked on it in the past. Cool. So this is doing something. If we do cool, so that's that. We get 1 error for that, but for osdev, we get the black screen. So that was me trying to. Oh, we get a reboot. That was me trying to try something, but that means that I could just not have a drive, and it should just boot into the. Yeah, so press a key to enter the boot method. Cool. So this is what I wanted. So now we can kind of get into a shell, or if we come to the Alamo. I mean, all this is doing is showing that. Ooh, look at that. We can we can boot things. Cool. So we'll bring that down there, and maybe you can just be there. I'm gonna keep an eye. Cool. So now that we do that, what do we want to do here? I suppose we can just see what the release is. They've done all the building. I'll trust them. Can't have secure boot. So yeah, that was one limitation with the CSM. You can't have secure boot. Secure boot, it's just a kettle of fish, really. But right. So we don't want things to happen. I don't know. Should we just get this? Try and kick off a download for whatever we want. We'll only get one. Yeah, 64. We'll get the two as well, just in case. Cool. And what do we do once we do this? How do we use quick start? No, that quick start is probably what I want. Oh yeah, so we just put that into our partition. All right, maybe I can have a little tweak of that's a bit too big. Maybe I can have a bit of a it's weird syntax error. That's like when I'm doing tab completion. Interesting. Anyhow, I want to search for. I want to look for tools build. It's kind of annoying. Let's give a reload and see if that helps situations. Cool. So this just have a Lamine. This is doing some Lamine stuff, and what I think I'll do is instead of this, well, perhaps as well as we can perhaps do here, and do we like build Lamine as we go? Probably do. But this can perhaps actually just be download, and this can perhaps be home, something like that. And is that where they ended up? So if we look in downloads, we do have this, but we probably overwrote stuff. CSMWrap X. CSMWrap. I will make an assumption. It's 64. Oh, these are my numbers. But EFI. So this I actually want to be called boot X 4. My keyboard has just felt like it's off by a centimeter. It's not. Actually, I'll take me there and do CSMWrap IA32.efi and put that there. Easy. So, if we This is reloaded everything. Guess we'll do the build. It's done a build. It's doing some like, I don't know what. It's just a completely bad thing. But now if I it's annoying. My reloads the bash history as well. Perhaps I should make that so it's like just saves the current history and reloads that history after. Anyhow, what I wanted to do was run that beautiful command that I still have in. No, it was this bad boy. Let's do it. Bad memory. I don't know. Feeling cold. Cool, so that looks like it is doing what I want. So what I want is this to actually just have a one of these will have an HDI. Yeah, so that HDI, the first disk, build EFI.img has my thing. So either we'll see we see SeaBIOS. Oh, and then it booted Lemine. Now that's still pretty cool. Now I just need to work out where it got Lemine from in that process. So I guess like and it's seeing that this is booting in BIOS mode. So we have successfully booted in BIOS mode, even though we booted in UEFI mode before. And like quick test to do something like that is, I guess I can go to here and build this thing and CSMWrap. So if we did that and we build.sh, if we did a build and then we run this, it'll just boot into the mine into UEFI mode. That's my hypothesis. And there we go. It has booted into the mine UEFI mode. And cool. So this is good progress. I'm pretty excited. If we go back to this, perhaps well, I mean, this doesn't work. I don't know. It was all kind of testing, and it'll all get cleaned up at some point when it kind of all happens. But yeah. Now I need to work out how I can get it booting my thing instead of Lemine, because I don't really care about Lemine. There was just going to be a possible tool that might help. How am I for time? I'm still good with that regards. Cool. If we look at this, so when am I doing Lemine? I think I don't want to do this. And then that would not. there'll just be no boot disk on it. But when do we put our stuff on there? So we do like a link for, and that's just going to be, that was original. So our thing dot image, this is dot image. And then we get here, we delete EFI dot image. So EFI dot image doesn't have our stuff on at all. So I wonder if I can copy um I don't know, that's not what I wanted. Something like this, and actually just have it OS name image. So if we actually do this instead, but then this would has to be that file system. I mean, what we could do, it's kind of interesting. So, to get my disk on there, what needs to happen is, in fact, what do I have with the linker lemon? This one here. This doesn't seem like it was written by me. Yeah, that's irrelevant. So what I want is at CSMWrap, this is going to be the start of the disk. And in fact, we can. I want to. We had a window there, so maybe I. Nah, that didn't work. We need to get back to that project. I sometimes go like hardcore into one thing and just stop. But yeah, I don't know. I need to just have a look see. And maybe I'll look at the first 1024 bytes of build. Look at build. That's all good. And we can go this osdev.image. We can have a look to see what this is. And so this is basically my bootloader, and you can see it takes up all of it. Oh, oh no, it's kind of stole my song. But I can also look at what was it that it was writing to. It was EFI. So we can also look at this thing. And it has this is Lemon bootloader. And so what if we go back to this build and BIOS install? So we are not doing that at the moment. Oh, what was my iOS? Oh, that was that. What I wonder is, we've got this thing, and it can boot. Boots on its pass. So we need that part. Packed down. What I was thinking of doing was doing a DD, stands for Data Destroyer. I'm not sure it actually does, but people call it Data Destroyer. It potentially just doesn't have a name. It's part of the core utils, but fairly, I don't know. So what we do, we want to do DD or if.in, and we have our osdev.image, and we want to go out to build EFI, and we want to maybe block size equals 512 and count equals 1. So that will just kind of copy over that first little thing. So before I do this, actually, no, I'll just get out of here and we can look at the EFI image, and this is that sort of thing. It's also got a valid file system on it. Or it should do. How do we do that? At least be okay of that. No. Any of these kind of help. I don't know. So like, for example, I can mount so of build. Let's do not that one. Well, that kind of work. Actually, no, it might be a bit confusing. We were up the top, and now we're back to the bottom. But yeah, just that one. Remember which modifier key to hold down. I don't know. Haven't been in the office for a while, so this keyboard setup is a bit feels like my brain is rewiring some things. So if we look at EFI.image and we try and mount this to, I don't know, like do we have anything here? No, I've got nothing here. So theoretically, it doesn't like it. All right. We'll do that and see if the file changes. It still says that. I don't know. So I want to run this now and see what change that did. Couldn't find a bootable device. Yeah, so that is kind of what my fear was. Oh, can I? It's because it's just we've overridden key information on the disk, basically. Is this how we do it? Yeah, so we can't see disk. as it is. But if we did like a build.sh first, then it should get back to being working. So the problem is that my operating system, I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, so hold the fort. So what if I do HDA can be build.osdev.image and HDB. This is just a quick fire test. I'm not suggesting everyone requires to have 2 hard drives, but before, I mean, I'll just make a fact file system and not hard code it. It didn't seem like that difficult when I kind of read through the specs and made like I've got a parser somewhere. I think would have done a simple file system. No, not simple file system, fact file system. So we have a out, and so what does this do? We've got an info, and we just need to give it a build/os no UEFI.image. It could not because it's put us in the wrong place. Osdev. Interesting. I thought there would be a valid headed there. No, I have the partition table first. Is that not doing what I hoped it would as well? So we get into SeaBIOS, and then in SeaBIOS we just get a black screen. I was hoping this would boot into my operating system because we now have 2 disks, and the first one isn't a valid UEFI disk because it doesn't have the ESP file system, which is a little fact file system at the start. And it is a valid. So, like, if we gave it some, like, I don't know, some garbage, like, that's not a disk. Now, when it gets into SeaBIOS, it does add a bit to the boot. So we get SeaBIOS. It will then no bootable devices. So it was trying to read from that. But this one, it was not complaining about no bootable devices. It was just giving me a black screen, which could mean any number of things. So what I want to do is, first off, try and see if I can maybe change this and maybe like do that and that there and then find that and do something like that. So we load the UEFI first and then the osdev second. More for convenience for me, but end result is 1 disk. But this means that I can easily kind of. So this is doing a different thing. It's still kind of black screen, but it's potentially trying to boot from the same disk. So I wonder if I need to say that it is booting from maybe this nice little 3 megabyte one. Yeah, so that's the same. Right, so because of that, I want it to be like this, and perhaps I can do like a different operating system, see if that kind of boots into that. See what happens. Yeah, cool. So this is loading up FreeDOS and or kind of loading up FreeDOS. I feel like that works under normal. Yeah, that normally works. So what other things did I have in the I think that's called the DSK. We've got I don't know, like MS DOS. See what that does. We've got more than that somewhere else. Yeah, this like looks like it's doing a thing. Can I start Windows 1? Like, boom, look at that. Boy, look at that. And we can open up write.exe, the like 1990s. I don't know, it's pretty old. We could potentially save this to our little disk. Yeah, it's very other like Mac. Like you have to like the old school Macs. You have to hold down the mouse to get it. If you click on a menu, it won't do that. I think they fixed that in 3.1. Or can we not? Oh, how do we get out of? Yeah, it's in session. I mean, we could bring up old paint. This is hella cool. Do we have like colors? Do colors exist? Surely colors existed. All right. If colors didn't exist, I need to remember the keyboard shortcuts for this thing. If colors didn't exist, Windows 2 had stuff. Oh, Windows 2 is not liking it. All right. Um, we all right. We just crashed. Try doing that again. It's not my operating system, but my plan is to basically see, can I boot into a BIOS thing? Cool. We'll try one, two. Yeah, so it's not liking that. But if I do say Win2, which under the hood it kind of just, oh no, this isn't doing the same thing. This is running FreeDOS in Win2, not MS-DOS Win2. But yeah, Win2. Whew. Look at that. I think I need to do that to make it a bit more normal. And I click and it just holds. I love it. Cool. That did that. Ooh. No, we need to do something like that. Cool. So I guess my test has been tested and answered. This thing does work. I like it. And like it's got a bunch more stuff, and like potentially there's like heaps more things I can do. I don't know. But yeah, I guess from here I can see I need to implement the fat file system in the sole purpose of dumping a file in. And what it could be is I just have a fat file system, very tiny, that has the EFI partition on. And then directly after that is just the rest of my thing. So in if we look at not that link here, that link here, we have boot and then boot 32. Some of boot would have to change. So my boot is currently just too big for its britches. Takes up close to the whole 512 bytes, whereas I can't use them that much. So I could potentially try and work out how much I do need. So I feel like Lamine has just gone out the door. Yeah, so we kind of like create this disk and then Lamine's out the door. I've got it elsewhere that I can kind of do things. We do that. We don't need Lamine. I think we don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need that. And so now I just need to kind of copy these, fix, copy, get from there a bit more easily. And like after this, I kind of have to squeegee in some stuff. But if I do this and just build, we can kind of have a look at the output of this disk. Mostly zero, so I think we can do a minus capital A minus just little a. Still has a fair amount of stuff, so maybe we can go minus R. Maybe color. What was the color thing for this? It's annoying that R always is that makes sense always. So if we do this and pipe it to this, I suppose it's the same capital R on less. But yeah, so we can see here we have some space free here. Then we've got more space free here. So really all we need is these bytes here in the first 512 bytes. So that's the first 512 bytes. And I forget how big the operating system has got so far. Maybe I can do a build osdev.image. We do a truncate, so you probably need to have a page and maybe do a tail. I think I was at the end anyway. So we really only need to get up to this point here. It's more than what was in here. So in between these 2 points, to be honest, looks like it could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. So in this star, in the zeros, we can fit stuff. So I reckon we can just easily do this. And this stuff down here is like the formatted, like this is a fat table, and it's pointing to some data, and then like this is the, I don't know, that's more of the fat table. I don't know, fat's a kind of interesting thing, but I think this has shown some good promise and hopefully helps drive some interest. People might get interested in what I'm doing here because I don't know, it's kind of cool and it works. And yeah, I'm real happy. Thanks to FlyGoat. Thanks to all these people, like SeaBIOS, new EFI. Oh, I haven't actually seen this one in my studies, but perhaps that's a nicer thing. I've seen EDT2, that's like firmware that I'm using. It's kind of like it's the tiniest thing, and it's got the specs. And I haven't seen this one, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, so this is just GNU EFI with fixes and improvements. So people have made some things good, and this is oh, you have like ACPI in this. Not using it, but oh well. Cool. Well, thanks for watching. And have a great day wherever you are, and I hope to see you again next time. Hopefully, I will get some more stuff going, and perhaps even do a live boot. Who knows that? Well, anyway, see ya.